Jim Jones's life was sailing along until a video breaks on Twitter, altering everything in a flash. In the video, Brooke Bailey, the reality star, slaps Jim's son Putty outside a Miami nightclub. Jim is enraged and accuses Brooke, Jim's mother. Mama Jones and his companion, Chrissy Lampkin, confront him about the event, not just furious but also disappointed and concerned about Jim's behavior. Handled it. Mama Jones and Chrissy Lampkin feel Jim made things worse by assaulting Brooke when he should have handled it differently. Jim attempts to justify himself, stating Putty was simply chilled when Brooke slapped him after accusing him. Jim was merely defending his family, but the viral video makes it appear like he's the bad guy now. Brooke Bailey is flipping the narrative on Instagram, playing the victim, while Jim's image is in ruins. Brooke walks away with a $90 million divorce settlement, and Jim's left cleaning up the pieces. Is this just a matter of terrible timing, or did Brooke lure Jim into the catastrophe that's now blowing up his life? It was an ordinary day in LA, or so it appeared to Jim. Jones, the rapper and Harlem's best, was living his regular life in the limelight. He was no stranger to controversy, but this time it wasn't about his music or his career. It was something more personal, something that would erupt all over the internet, bringing down Jim's reputation one viral video at a moment. But let's rewind. Jim wasn't counting on this type of commotion. He wasn't even in New York, where most of his headlines have been produced this time. He was all the way sunny Miami attempting to lie low. But as it occurs in the world of celebrities, sometimes trying to lay low just makes matters worse. A calm night at a nightclub turned into a media frenzy, and it was all recorded on film. That caused all of this is absurd. Image this: Brooke Bailey, the reality TV personality renowned for her appearances on Basketball Wives and all the drama that comes with it, is spotted outside the club and out of nowhere. She smacks Jim's son, Putty, across the face. Hey, did you hear that Brooke Bailey slapped his kid? Oh, you bet the internet was ready for this. Jim's son was supposedly minding his own business when Brooke accused him of mocking her. Say that's still up for question, but whatever it was, it definitely crossed the line. Brooke, not one to back down, instantly comes up to Putty and slaps him across the face, which is when things got real dirty real quickly, as Jim saw. Jim Jones, known for being a cool-headed rapper and businessman, doesn't even think twice before charging at Brooke, and the video catches his wrath. When it comes to family, everyone knows the rules, right? If you mess with my son, you mess with me. But Jim didn't account for the cameras and the reaction that was about to come crashing down on him. So what happens next? As soon as the video becomes viral, the internet goes crazy. Everyone's talking about it, and social media is bustling with opinions, comments, and of course, memes. Some people praise Jim for defending his son, while others are calling him out. Why? Because Jim, a mature guy, physically charged at a lady, and that is a whole other ballgame. The trouble is, when you're in the public spotlight, especially as a celebrity, your every move gets studied, analyzed, and distorted. Jim Mama Jones, his protective mother, and Chrissy Lampkin, his long-term companion, have a totally different view of the problem, and don't hold back. These two ladies who have seen Jim at his best and worst are now worried about the wider picture. They know how quickly things can spiral out of control in the world of celebrity. Let's just say the talk at Jim's house. After the event wasn't exactly a nice family reunion, Mother Jones was seething. She taught Jim to be a man of respect and to think before acting, but now her son had thrown all of that out the window. Chrissy Lampkin was more than just disappointed, she was concerned. Both ladies believed Jim had handled the matter terribly, and the more they thought about it, the more they understood this might damage everything. Jim should have taken a step. Back then, he should have thought of another way to address the matter, but in the heat of the moment, he acted impulsively. And now they were all left cleaning up the mess of what should have been a normal family squabble went viral. Brooke Bailey, ever the shrewd celebrity, isn't wasting any time and is now playing the victim while Jim is out here trying to defend his behavior and clean up his name. Brooke is out there on Instagram, giving her version of the story. She's the innocent person, and Jim is the furious villain who couldn't control his fury. It's a classic ploy, and in this case, it could well work in her advantage. Of this, with a $19 million settlement in her divorce, talk about striking the jackpot. Did she know precisely what she was doing all along? Did she manipulate Jim into responding the way he did so that she could walk away with a large payout? Chrissy Lampkin could not help but wonder whether this was the beginning of the end for Jim's family dynamic. This wasn't just a slap that inflicted harm, but the entire public view of their family now hanging by a thread. Imagine for a second, being putty, 1 minute you're just enjoying the night out and the next you're slapped by a reality TV celebrity. But the greater issue now, you're dragged into a major public fight and your father is at the heart of it, being depicted as the evil person. Jim could already feel the heat from the public and from the people he cared about the most. Chrissy Lampkin, his lifelong partner, and the woman who had been through it all with him, was concerned not just about the image they had constructed together, but also about their in the future. What would this drama imply for them, their relationship, and their careers? Meanwhile, Mama Jones, the matriarch, was not going to allow her son be perceived as the villain in this scenario. So she raised Jim to be a man of respect to control his temper. But what she didn't expect was for her son to be so emotionally charged that he couldn't see past the heat of the moment. As things began to spiral, Jim tried to justify his actions, but he wasn't just protecting his kid, he was defending his family, and he was not going to back down, but the damage had already been done. The viral video was everywhere, and even if Jim's side of the story made sense to him, it wouldn't be enough to reverse the damage in the public view. Now Jim's life wasn't only in the tabloids for his music or his character. It was now linked to this moment. The more people saw the video, the more they felt like they were seeing an emotional. As the breakdown unfolded, some were quick to leap to conclusions, but in the realm of social media, that's simply how things happen. When you're famous, your faults become everyone's amusement, as we witnessed in part 1. Jim Jones had no idea what was coming when the viral video of Brooke Bailey smacking his son Putty outside a nightclub got up. And as much as Jim attempted to excuse his behavior, his reputation took a significant damage. The public was eager to join on the bandwagon, and Brooke, a reality TV actress no stranger to controversy, was playing the victim card like a pro. So what happened next? Let's speak about the aftermath. The viral video was out there, and the backlash was inevitable. Jim was attempting to go back to his life, but the pressure was on. It wasn't just the public watching. Jim's longtime partner and even his mother, Mama Jones, were watching as well. And believe me, they were not happy with what Jim had done. Chrissy Lampkin, his girlfriend of over a decade, had been there through all of his ups and downs. But this was different. Her displeasure was evident, and she wasn't only worried about the public outrage. She was also concerned about their future. Jim had made errors previously, but this time it felt more personal. Chrissy's major concern wasn't only about the viral video, it was the fact that Jim didn't pause to think before charging at Brooke. Type of reaction she'd expect from a mature man. If Jim had simply taken a minute to step back, things could have turned out very differently. Instead, he acted like a man on a mission, and now their lives were hanging by a thread. It wasn't just about Jim and Chrissy Lampkin. Mama Jones was in full mama bear mode, and she wasn't going to let this pass. Mama Jones had raised Jim to be a man of respect. She had taught him the value of patience and self-control, and what did he do? He let his anger get the best of him. Mama Jones wasn't angry because Jim stood up for his son. She was angry because he didn't handle the situation the right way for her. It wasn't just about protecting family, it was about defending their reputation and their heritage. Now that legacy was at stake, and it was all because Jim couldn't take a step back. But let's talk about the reaction from the internet. Here is where things become even worse. Interesting the viral explosion. As much as Jim attempted to excuse his conduct, the internet had already made up its decision, and once the video went viral, there was no turning back. The whole world was following Jim's every move. Did not hold back. They were immediately dragging him through the mud, labeling him poisonous, aggressive, and unstable. The footage of him rushing at Brooke Bailey aired on a loop, stoking the fire of public opinion. Jim Jones exposed was trending. Brooke Bailey was busy doing what she does best, playing the victim. She understood exactly how to use the media and social media to her advantage. Brooke was not the one being dragged over the internet. No. She was the innocent person, and Jim was the villain. Brooke turned to Instagram to explain her side of the story, posting about how she had been wronged, and how Jim was the one in the wrong. It didn't take long for compassion to rush in. Brooke's followers were eager to congratulate her for maintaining her ground and demonstrating restraint, while Jim's supporters were increasingly left with no good case. Let's not forget the great in. The middle of all this drama, it was discovered that Brooke had walked away from her marriage with a $19 million settlement, all part of some perfectly orchestrated move. Did Brooke somehow know exactly what she was doing when she smacked Putty, and was Jim's response just what she needed to pay out big time? Brooke's profession lives on controversy. Every minute she is in the spotlight improves her reputation, and this slap heard across the globe was gold for her. Is it conceivable that she anticipated what would happen when she slapped Putty? Could she have arranged the whole thing up to make sure she came out on top? That's a question people are starting to ask. The fact that she ended up with a hefty divorce settlement after all of this. Well, it's a little too convenient, don't you think? The drama grows worse, but the underlying tragedy in all of this isn't just about Brooke and her victim narrative, but the toll it's having on Jim's family. The Jones family has always prided itself on being a unit. They've gone through so much together. Mama Jones and Chrissy Lampkin both had Jim's back at the darkest periods in his life. But this scenario is different. Jim's actions have caused irreversible harm to their image. Chrissy Lampkin was not only Jim's. Chrissy Lampkin was Jim's business partner, right hand, and emotional support. But after this episode, her faith in Jim Jones began to erode. Could she truly continue with him after everything that had happened? Could she support someone who had done without thinking and potentially damaged all they had fought for? It was a difficult pill to take, and it made Chrissy wonder her future with Jim Jones and Mama Jones. Mama Jones had been the one to educate Jim Jones ideals he had lived by for so long, but this was a time when even Mama Jones couldn't find a way to defend her son. She felt Jim Jones had gone too far, and she was beginning to worry whether Jim Jones had entirely lost his way. Due to mend this disaster, is there any way he could earn back the people's confidence? Well, that's a question for the ages, but one. Things for sure, Jim Jones was going to need a miracle to heal his connection with Chrissy Lampkin, his mother, and the public. The controversy had hit him hard, and he was now in damage control mode. Every interview, every social media post was being examined, and there was no escape the digital inferno that was blazing. Brooke Bailey was still basking in the warmth of her new victim's fame. The issue is, how much longer would she continue to play this game? And how far was she ready to go to guarantee she remained the focus of attention by now? Has watched the complete repercussions of the historic event between Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey, and it's evident that this story is far from finished. As we enter the last chapter of the tale, let's look at the long-term implications of the drama that developed and how much harm this has done to both of their careers. For Jim Jones, this is a defining moment. Sure, he's gone through scandals, before his rap career, public feuds, and reality TV moments. But nothing like this. Nothing has hit this hard this soon, and this publicly. The video of him storming toward Brooke in a fit of wrath wasn't just a random tiny clip that would disappear after a few days. Sticks to you and stays like a poor reputation, and now Jim Jones finds himself in a position where everything is at stake. This isn't just a fleeting moment. It might be the end of his career if he doesn't manage it right now. Jim Jones has always been a fighter, whether in his personal or professional life. But here's the problem. This wasn't just any fight. Jim's reaction to Brooke's slap was passionate, rapid, and dangerous. He didn't just slap back at a person. He slammed back at his whole image, his family, and his profession. So, what's the next step for Jim Jones? Can he recover from this disaster? Humiliation, or has this drama finally gotten the best of him? Legal drama and public outrage. There's something that frequently gets neglected in these types of situations. The legal consequences you see when something becomes this huge. There are always issues of who's suing who's being investigated, and what legal implications are on the horizon in this case. While we've seen plenty of chatter about the drama, we haven't really delved into the legal side of things, but let's be honest, Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey are both going to have to answer for this event in some manner. Brooke's slap wasn't simply an emotional reaction, it was a physical altercation. And as we've seen time and again, the police don't take these things lightly now. Image the headlines: Brooke Bailey to face assault charges for hitting Jim Jones. Son or Jim Jones under investigation for striking Brooke Bailey. Both situations would send media into a frenzy and cause even more controversy. Legal troubles frequently stretch on for years and only make matters worse in the court of public. Opinion for Brooke? Her image as the victim could soon turn into something else if legal action is taken, if the courts get involved and she's forced to pay damages or face charges. Her carefully manufactured victim narrative might come tumbling down. But it's not. Only about Brooke Jim's public persona is already harmed. But now he has to deal with the potential legal implications of his own conduct. After all, while his outburst was emotionally fueled, it was still a violent altercation. And the law could look at his violent response and see it as more than simply protecting his family. Will Jim face any legal repercussions for assaulting Brooke? It's a possibility that shouldn't be ruled out. What about the future of their careers? Let us shift gears here. It's one thing to deal with legal concerns and public outrage, but what does this mean for their careers? Jim and Brooke have been in the entertainment world for years, but how long can they keep riding the famous train? After the crisis for Jim Jones, things are hard. His career has been all about loyalty, family, and street credibility. But this newest catastrophe illustrates that devotion only goes so far when emotions take over. Protective father has now been broken whether he likes it or not. He's now viewed as a hothead, someone who doesn't consider before responding. This might affect his image as an entertainer. If people stop trusting you, they stop viewing you as a reputable figure. Your music career may quickly take a plunge. Furthermore, the public image of Jim's activities may lead to sponsors walking away, contracts being terminated, and possibilities drying up. His actions have left him vulnerable to criticism, harm, and we all know how cutthroat the entertainment business can be. Corporate sponsors don't want to be linked with someone who's perceived as a liability, so Jim Jones can find himself struggling for relevance in a world that Brooke Bailey, she's not out of the woods yet. Sure, she's riding high on the victim narrative, but for how long? The world of reality TV is a fickle beast. One minute you're the star, and the next, you are yesterday's news. Will the public tire of Brooke's victim complex? Will they grow weary of hearing her version of the tale over and over again on Instagram? People can only sympathize for so long before they start to question, what's her angle? And don't forget the $19 million divorce settlement. We're talking about a massive sum of money here, and we all know how these things go. Did Brooke really deserve the payout? Or was this merely part of a broader game plan? You can guarantee the public's eye is on her, waiting for her to slip up. The more Brooke plays the victim, the more people will question if there's more to the tale than she's letting on. The actual cost of celebrity. In the end, celebrity and controversy have a cost for Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey. This entire incident will leave a mark. Jim's reputation has been seriously harmed, and while he can try to recover, the world will not forget this. Issue anytime soon, he has public relations work ahead of him. But the question is it enough? And while Brooke may appear to be in the clear for now, history has proven that scandals have a way of finding back. If there's one thing we can say for sure, it's that this controversy has impacted both of their careers forever, whether they can mend their shattered reputations or fall victim to the harsh force of public opinion. It remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: the drama is far from finished. So, do you believe Jim Jones can make a return after all of this? Or has this controversy been the final nail in the coffin for his career? Will Brooke Bailey continue to ride the tide of compassion, or will the backlash catch up with her? Leave your opinions in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stunning developments as we continue to follow this story. Folks, Jim Jones and Brooke Bailey. The scandal unfolded in ways we never. What do you think is Jim's? Is his career over? Can he recover from it? What about Brooke? Will she keep? Is she writing this victim narrative? Time in the spotlight is going to expire. Share your ideas in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. Want more exclusive updates on this drama and other celebrity gossip? Subscribe and click the bell button so you won't miss any subsequent disclosures. Stay tuned for more surprising revelations.